All right, so we're diving into this mountain of info on becoming an assembly operator. We've got
Mhm.
articles here, mostly from Indeed.com, and they give a pretty good overview. But, you know, we don't stop at the surface here.
Right.
Think of this deep dive as like your cheat sheet,
Hmm.
not just for landing the job,
Yeah.
but for actually like rocking it on the assembly line.
And it's interesting because there's this perception that assembly work is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do it.
Right.
But the industry is changing. The
Mm.
skills you need to succeed, they go way beyond just knowing how to use a screwdriver.
Totally. So let's break down what employers are really looking for. Indeed talks a lot about technical proficiency, attention to detail, and the ability to work under pressure. Those are the big three.
Mhm.
But let's put those into context a little bit.
Because technical proficiency these days, it's not just about knowing how to operate a machine. It's about troubleshooting when that robot arm goes haywire,
Oh, yeah.
or understanding how to program a CNC machine. Automation is changing the game. So employers need people who can adapt.
So you're not just a machine operator. You're
Yeah.
almost like a tech troubleshooter, too.
Exactly.
Okay, what about that attention to detail bit? I mean, that's got to be important on any assembly line,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Think about it. One tiny mistake
Yeah.
can mess up an entire production run, especially in industries with strict quality control standards. We're talking automotive, aerospace, medical devices.
Uh-huh.
Precision is key.
That makes total sense. Now, how does this attention to detail play out in a practical sense? Is it just about being careful?
It's about understanding the why behind each step. Let's say you're working with a Kanban system.
Okay.
You need to know not only how to follow the cards,
You're right.
but also how that system contributes to lean manufacturing and reduces waste. That level of understanding is what sets you apart.
So it's not just about being careful. It's about understanding the bigger picture and how your work fits into the whole process. Makes sense. Now, how about working under pressure? I bet that comes up a lot in those Indeed interview questions, huh?
Oh, for sure. You'll get the classic, how would you respond if you were unable to meet a deadline?
Right, right.
But what they're really asking is, can you think on your feet? Can you prioritize tasks? Can you communicate effectively when things get tough?
So it's not just about saying yes to overtime.
Yeah.
It's about being able to problem solve
Yeah.
and communicate clearly. And that brings us to the interviews themselves. Indeed lists a ton of potential questions. Any that stand out to you?
Well, there's one that always gets people. How do you maintain a safe work environment?
Okay.
You might think it's a simple question,
Yeah.
but it reveals a lot about your mindset.
What do you mean?
A good answer goes beyond just reciting safety protocols.
Right.
It shows that you're proactive about identifying hazards, that you understand the importance of ergonomics, and that you value the well-being of yourself and your colleagues.
So it's about having a genuine safety mindset,
Yeah.
not just going through the motions. And how does someone convey that in an interview?
If you can bring up specific safety certifications, like OSHA 10 that shows you're serious,
Uh-huh.
or talk about a time when you noticed a potential hazard and took steps to address it, that demonstrates initiative.
Okay, so it's about showing that you're not just following the rules, but actually thinking critically about safety. That's a great insight.
Right.
Now, Indeed also has a question about working under pressure. Do you remember that example they gave about fulfilling a large order?
Oh, yeah. What made that answer strong wasn't just that they got the job done.
Yeah.
It was how they explained their process,
Yes.
breaking down the task, managing their time, and maintaining quality, even under a tight deadline.
So it's about demonstrating your ability to handle pressure, but also your thought process
Right.
and your organizational skills. Makes sense. Now let's move beyond those interview basics
Yeah.
and dig into some of the less obvious aspects of this job.
Because there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
For sure.
Yeah.
Indeed's FAQ section had some interesting stuff about like the physical demands of the job. I don't think people always realize
Right.
how physical assembly work can actually be.
Right. It's true. Standing for long hours,
Yeah.
repetitive motions lifting.
Yeah.
You can take a toll.
And they even mention
Yeah.
the importance of things like proper lifting techniques and taking breaks
Right.
to avoid injuries.
Which makes sense. If you're going to be on your feet all day,
Mm-hmm.
you got to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about muscle, it's about ergonomics too.
Yeah.
Preventing repetitive strain injuries is huge.
Okay, so physical stamina is a must. What about mental stamina, though? I
Mhm.
mean, doing the same tasks over and over, that could get pretty monotonous, right?
It can, but that's where mindset comes in. Think of it like this, those repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
They're all about consistency and precision.
Yeah.
You're contributing to a larger goal.
So it's about finding ways to stay engaged and focused,
Right.
even when the work feels repetitive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it ties back to those qualities we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Attention to detail, a strong work ethic.
Right.
Those things help you power through the monotony and deliver consistent results.
Now let's talk about something a little more exciting. Advancement. Indeed mentions the possibility of moving into roles like team lead or supervisor.
And they specifically highlight leadership potential.
Oh.
That's a big one. Companies are looking for people who are not just skilled, but also show initiative and a willingness to take on more responsibility.
So even if you're starting out as an assembly operator,
Right.
there's potential to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how someone could make themselves stand out
Yeah.
for those opportunities?
It's all about going above and beyond. Maybe you volunteer to cross-train on a new machine,
Okay.
or you take the initiative to learn about Six Sigma quality control methods.
Ah, Six Sigma. That's a whole other world.
It is.
But it sounds impressive.
And it shows employers that you're serious about continuous improvement and that you're willing to invest in your own development.
So it's not just about doing your job well. It's about showing that you're eager to learn and grow. Now, there's another interesting point that Indeed brings up seasonality. You wouldn't think assembly work would be affected by the time of year, but...
Well, some industries do experience peaks and valleys in production.
Right.
Think about holiday shopping, for example. That can lead to overtime opportunities during busy periods.
Oh, yeah.
But also potential slowdowns at other times.
So it's something to be aware of, especially if you're considering a specific industry.
Definitely. It's always a good idea to research the company and the industry to understand the potential for fluctuations in workload.
Okay, now let's get back to those interview questions. Indeed has one that I think is particularly insightful. Can you describe a time you had a disagreement with a team member and how it was resolved?
That's a classic. They want to see how you handle conflict.
Right.
And whether you can maintain a positive and productive work environment, even when things get tense.
So it's not about saying you've never had a disagreement. That's unrealistic. It's about showing how you can communicate effectively.
Exactly.
And find solutions.
Did you listen to the other person's perspective? Did you clearly articulate your own concerns?
Right.
Did you work together to find a compromise that benefited the team?
Okay.
That's what they're looking for.
Another question that caught my eye is, can you give an example of a suggestion you made to improve efficiency in your past role?
Yeah.
That seems like a tough one.
It can be.
Yeah.
But it's also a golden opportunity to show that you're not just a passive worker bee.
Right.
You're thinking critically about the process.
Yeah.
And looking for ways to make things better.
Do you have any advice on how to answer that question effectively?
Be specific. Don't just say, I suggested a better way to do things.
Okay.
Give concrete examples. Did you identify a bottleneck in the workflow? Did you come up with a way to streamline a particular task?
Right.
Did you use your knowledge of lean manufacturing principles to reduce waste?
So it's about showing that you're proactive, that you're paying attention, and that you're always looking for ways to improve.
Precisely. And that kind of mindset is invaluable in any role, not just on the assembly line.
Now let's talk about something that might seem a little intimidating. Blueprints and schematics. Indeed mentions the importance of being able to read and interpret those technical drawings.
This is where that technical proficiency we talked about earlier comes in handy.
Right.
You need to be able to understand the symbols, the measurements, the assembly instructions.
Oh, wow.
It's like learning a new language.
But it's an essential skill, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't build anything if you don't understand the instructions. And in today's world, those instructions are often presented in the form of complex technical drawings.
So if you're thinking about a career as an assembly operator, brush up on your blueprint reading skills.
Great advice. And while you're at it, get comfortable with using measuring tools.
Okay.
Calipers, micrometers, rulers.
Yeah.
Precision is everything in assembly work.
Indeed even talks about the importance of calibration. Making sure those tools are accurate can make a huge difference in the quality of the final product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about attention to detail and a commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
Every measurement matters.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about preventative maintenance. Indeed asks, what's your approach towards preventative maintenance of machinery?
Okay.
What are they getting at with that question?
They're looking for someone who understands that keeping the machines running smoothly is crucial to the entire operation. It's not just about operating the equipment. It's about taking care of it.
So it's about being proactive
Right.
and preventing problems before they occur.
Exactly.
Yep.
Do you know how to perform basic maintenance tasks?
Okay.
Do you understand the importance of cleaning and lubrication?
Uh-huh.
Can you spot potential issues before they become major breakdowns?
Yeah.
These are all things that employers value.
It shows that you're not just focused on your own tasks, but that you're thinking about the bigger picture and
Hmm.
the long-term success of the operation.
Precisely.
Mm.
And that kind of mindset
Yeah.
is what separates the good assembly operators from the great ones.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. Technical skills, problem solving, safety advancement opportunities.
Yeah.
It's clear that being an assembly operator is a multifaceted role.
And it's a role that's constantly evolving as technology advances.
Oh,
But the core skills, attention to detail, a strong work ethic, a willingness to learn,
right.
those will always be in demand.
So for those of you out there who are considering a career in assembly work,
Hmm.
don't underestimate the challenges or the rewards. It's a demanding job, but it can also be incredibly rewarding,
Absolutely.
especially if you embrace the opportunity to learn and grow.
And remember, the skills you develop on the assembly line are transferable.
That's true.
They can open doors to all sorts of other careers,
Yeah,
from manufacturing engineering to quality control to
Mhm.
management.
that's a great point. So even if you're just starting out, you're building a foundation for a successful future. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll dive into some final thoughts and leave you with some inspiring takeaways. Stay tuned. So we're back and, going through all this info on assembly operators, it really highlights the importance of like a solid work ethic.
Yeah.
It might seem basic, but it's something Indeed emphasizes a lot.
And it makes sense. Employers need people they can rely on folks who show up on time, ready to work,
Right.
and committed to doing a good job.
It's not just about clocking in and out. It's
Right.
about that dedication to quality, that willingness to go the extra mile and being a team player.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's those less tangible qualities that really make a difference
Yeah.
in a fast-paced environment like an
Yeah.
assembly line. Being able to work independently, but also knowing when to ask for help or collaborate, those are huge.
Indeed also talks about maintaining a clean and organized work area.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that ties into work ethic too.
Absolutely. A cluttered workspace can lead to errors, safety hazards,
Right.
and it just slows everything down. But a clean and organized area, that reflects a sense of pride in your work,
Yeah.
and it helps everyone on the team operate more efficiently.
It's interesting how those small things can reveal a lot about a person's work habits
Right.
and overall approach. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways for aspiring assembly operators?
Well, first off, I think it's clear that technical skills are just the starting point.
Hmm.
Employers are looking for well-rounded individuals with strong communication skills, problem-solving abilities, and a rock-solid work ethic.
It's like that saying, hire for attitude, train for skill.
Exactly.
Right.
And second, never stop learning.
Right.
The manufacturing industry is constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's cross-training on a new machine or getting a Six Sigma certification, always be looking for ways to improve your skills and knowledge.
It's all about investing in yourself and showing those employers that you're committed to growth and development.
Mm.
And lastly, mindset is everything. Bring a positive can-do attitude to the assembly line, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Hit the nail on the head. It's that eagerness to learn, that willingness to take on challenges, and that genuine enthusiasm for the work that will set you apart from the crowd.
So there you have it. Everything you need to know to not just land that assembly operator job, but to truly excel in this dynamic and ever-evolving field.
And as you embark on this journey, remember to always ask questions, never stop learning, and strive to make a positive impact every step of the way.
We've given you the roadmap. Now it's up to you to navigate the terrain. Good luck out there, and remember, we're always here to support you on your deep dive into the world of knowledge.